Shush first.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 12 of the Change School TV, and hi, I'm just liking this myself.
Great.
I don't know how.
Wow.
But hey, so
That's so weird. Cool.
Hi, I'm back, and we're back together now. So today's episode is life by design, prioritizing what really matters. If you're joining us in for the first time, I'm Grace, and this is Salonia.
Hi.
And we're from the Change School. We're the co-founders of the Change School. So if you could just say hello, introduce yourselves in the comments or anything like that. We always want to be able to get to know who's watching us, as well as interact as much as we can with those of you who are watching us live. So today, it's all about actioning even more.
And prioritizing the things that really matter. So I guess there's a lot of things we'll be talking about today, which we've mentioned before in our past lives. But I guess the real focus for us is on entrepreneurs today, overachievers, or even professionals who sometimes get really caught up in the work, which is something we can totally understand, right? Chasing deadlines, keeping up to date with tasks.
Hi,
Days. Yes, we're back together this week. And so I guess the tendency a lot of times is that we get caught up in either autopilot or in tunnel vision, and it's really easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. And I think that's something we're guilty of too sometimes when we're, always trying to stick to plans and timelines, which are obviously really important, but we have to also remember to kind of take a step back and see that bigger purpose, see that bigger vision, where we're trying to get to. And sometimes when we do that, we realize that, we may want to switch up the tasks that we're doing, or, think a bit differently about timelines and, managing our stress levels. So life by design for us is really about how do you look at your life and your work really holistically and bring more consciousness to how you plan things, how you're doing things, and how you're also at the same time allocating time to different areas of your life.
Yeah, exactly. So last week, we touched on setting goals and taking action. And this week is really like prioritizing and how to stay focused, and just reminding ourselves that we need to, stay focused in the different areas or the key areas of our life that we want. So, obviously, in order to be fulfilled or be happy, we need to make sure that we're making the right choices every time we sort of progress and take action, right? And aligning our values is obviously something that we talk about quite often here at the Change School. And if we can make sure that our values are always aligned, or as best as they can be, then the more fulfilled or more happy we're going to be throughout, and the more in flow. So as we talked about, a few episodes back, it's just making sure that we're in that constant state of flow, so that we're able to not burn out, as well as, stay focused on what it is that we need to achieve. So really, in order to do that, it's really about trying to identify what is important, right? Prioritizing what's important to us right now, where we are in our life, what are the key things that we want to achieve in this 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, and then sort of aligning that with our bigger year vision, right? So something that we've designed, or it's a mash of things that are already out there in a sense, because obviously everyone has heard of the Wheel of Life.
Yeah.
But we designed it in a way that would allow you to categorize the important things in your life, the important areas of your life, and see on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are right now, and then also where you want to be. So it's a visual representation of what your life is right now, compared to the way that you would ideally like your life to be. So we've got a printout of it today. We've got two options.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things. So if you've seen our past episodes about the Change Planner, then you've seen sort of what it looks like in there. I'm trying to get this alignment right. So that's just a snap view.
Yeah.
But we made a sort of simplified version for today's worksheet, which you can't really see because it's really gray. But if you head on over to our blog, which is the link you see here, then you can download that. And it's, as we said, just a simpler version. And you can play around with it, see how it works for you. And then inside the Change Planner is a more extensive version. And it really becomes the starting point for your change journey as you work through the book.
Yeah, so if you really enjoy it, and it's something that we have in our book where we have an OHP, so overhead projector version, as well as a paper version in there so that you can overlap it. But you can head on to thechangeschool.com/CP, and if you stick around till the end, we will share with you a code that allows you to get a discount for your order of the Change Planner in time for Christmas. So I guess what we want to talk about are 3 key steps, right? Or maybe a few more.
Yeah.
5 key steps.
5, that's right.
It's always 3 or 5, we know that. That's going to help you, I guess, design your life by design.
Exactly. So the steps are really just to help you kind of understand why we think the Wheel of Life is such a great tool, and then how you can sort of work through the steps whether or not you've got the Change Planner in front of you. So first things first is just brainstorming your key life areas and really taking a moment to think about this, because as you can see from the Wheel of Life template, there's actually 8 key areas that we're prompting you to look at. So that means that it's more than just, career and then personal life, right? It's really prompting you to think more about the multiple roles that you play, whether that's as a daughter or son, or as a spouse, or as a professional, as a coworker, as a friend. And so really trying to think about what are those key areas that you might want to improve in your life, whether that may be your financial situation, or community service, or how you are creating time for your friends and family, or even just carving out time for your own personal and professional development. So it's kind of forcing you from the outset to already think about multiple parts of yourself, because as we said earlier, when you get caught up in the day-to-day, it's so easy to, like, the first time a lot of people do this exercise, they're like, okay, 50% work, 50% personal. But there's so much more. So how do you dig a little bit deeper to think about within the personal and within the professional, what are those specific areas that you want to improve or do better or make a change? And so when you are working through the Wheel of Life, we have these sort of 8 sections, and then you would write in each of the 8 areas at the top of each section, so you're already knowing what you're looking at, and these are your sort of identified priorities for the next phase, or however long you're wanting to focus on this.
Yeah, so once you've sort of labeled each of the sections in your Wheel of Life, it's really important to start understanding or evaluating your current situation, right? So as we go through the different stages of our life and or work, there's different priorities, and so it's important to understand where you are right now and where you want to go. And each person's is very different, and I guess that's why we've also made the Change Planner undated, so you can start as soon as you get it, right? But basically, what you do in the Wheel of Life is then start mapping out your current situation, right? So for each of these 8 areas, you would draw a dot. Or put a mark, whatever, X marks the spot, whatever you want to do, from 0 to 10, right? Anywhere on that 0 to 10 scale, with 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, to indicate sort of the amount of time or energy or attention or focus that you want to put in that specific sector or area.
Or that you're currently putting.
Yes, that you're currently
And so actually, just to clarify, so there's 8 sections, and each of the 8 sections is divided by 2, so that you have 2 views, right? So the first step is to work through your current situation. So like Grace said, giving a grade to how much time and energy you're currently putting in each of those areas. And then once you've done that for all 8 areas, you would repeat it and then fill in the second half of each areas to reflect the ideal situation. That way you immediately have, like, the two comparative views.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you'll see that, I mean, we're trying to show you as much as we can, but this is one main section here, and then in that you have, you know, the two, it's broken into two. Yeah. So within that, you would really put in, like Sol said, right? One is your current and the other is your desired situation. In the change planner, you have the overhead projector paper, so that's something that you can map out a couple of times throughout the year if you want to, or even throughout 90 days, right? Whatever you think is able to change within that time frame. So step 4 is you map out your ideal situation, right? So once you're able to see your current and your ideal, you're able to then really start identifying what needs to happen in order for you to get there. What are maybe some of the steps that you can think about, right? So then you can review our episode last week to talk about taking action, right? So you would repeat the process all throughout your 8 sections, or maybe you don't have 8 areas of life that you want to fulfill or change, right? Maybe it's only 3, and that's fine too. So just quickly, I mean, for those of you that are here and watching us live, you know, if there's any questions or you're stuck or you don't know what the hell we're talking about,
nothing makes sense,
let us know at the bottom there. If you agree or you get what we're talking about, just like give us a thumbs up or like a heart. And for those of you that are watching the replay, just do hashtag replay, and we'll be able to look at the comments later and any sort of questions that you have with regards to that we can answer you after the replay, because we know a lot of things come up during the replay as well. So for those of you that just chiming in, maybe just say hi so that we can see who's on board, who's here, and that we're not just talking to nobody out there. So yeah, we've just sort of, if you're just joining us, we're just talking about how to create a life by design, and how to use our Wheel of Life that is available in the worksheet in the link there, or if you purchase a change planner, you will also get a much fuller picture of it.
Yeah, and the beauty of, as we kind of said, the beauty of the change planner version is that, this is something I think that's really good to do, whether it's monthly or quarterly, just to see how you're going. Because, again, we don't think about these things every day, and we don't really have the mental space to. But if you have something like a Wheel of Life or a tool like the planner, it just allows you to check in with yourself every so often and just make sure that your values and your choices are aligned. And so that kind of brings us to step 5 in this process, which is really evaluating based on your Wheel of Life, what are the changes that you could make, and what is the action that you can take and will take immediately. So once you sort of have the completed Wheel of Life where you have your current view and your future view, you can immediately ask yourself and see visually, like, where are the gaps, right? If you're currently sitting at 3, with regards to personal development, let's say, and your ideal situation is that you're really devoting like 5 out of 10 in terms of your time and energy, right? Then question 1 is, okay, what action can you take right away to start, not necessarily jumping from 3 to 5 immediately, but incrementally, right? And maybe that's taking a course, maybe it's going out and speaking to someone to learn something new, but just, again, focusing on those small steps so it's not something that overwhelms you, but becomes something ongoing that is towards your bigger vision. And so the other insight that you kind of want to look for when you're evaluating your Wheel of Life is, what does it sort of reveal about how you can reorganize your life, or how you can reprioritize certain people or certain things, and how can you recalibrate, in a sense, in order to strike that better balance. And by balance, we mean your sense of balance, right? Whatever that looks like for you. And then from here, just being able to really commit, and being, thanks for posting that link there. But yeah, it's really about being able to see that bigger picture, being able to make smaller commitments that don't daunt you or, make you kind of go, okay, forget it, I can't achieve it, but actually see that maybe you don't have as big a change as you might have been thinking, or maybe it is a bigger change than what you were thinking, but it's all achievable. And it just helps when we're able to have that down on paper and then be able to keep checking in to see your progress, because every time we have small wins, we're then more motivated to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think last week's episode is something that if you're struggling in just how to sort of take action or move forward, is worth reviewing and rewatching, so that you can sort of look at this wheel of life in here or on our worksheet, and then from there see how you can actually turn it into some tangible action steps. So like Sol said, then you have the sort of winning small steps that make you feel like you're winning and you're moving forward, right? Which is so important, especially if you're working by yourself, or if you're really in a bit of a rut, there's nothing more like than seeing you're achieving where you want to go or how to get to where you need to go. So in sort of closing up today's session, just head over to the blog if you want to read the recap. It's at bit.ly/Change School TV 12 recap. You can just see it down there. And then if you are interested in buying the change planner, so we've had, it now ships globally. So we were just in the US, but now it ships globally. So for all of our fans out there, head on over to thechangeschool.com/CP, and you'll be able to get a direct link to the Amazon store to buy the change planner. And for those of you that are watching this, if you are interested in buying a change planner, and it's a great gift for Christmas, you'll get it in time for those of us in Singapore or other parts of the world. We have heard from friends who are buying it and other people. You get it usually first week of December.
Yep.
Amazon, I think, is offering some free shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So, grab yourself 1 or 10 copies, and they're undated, as we said.
Yeah.
And the code is 25CHANGE in capital letters.
It's change 25.
Is it change 25? We should know.
We're going to double check. We're going to triple confirm, and we'll post a message in here, but I'm pretty sure it's all caps. Change 25. Right, okay, you do that, and I'll do the blabbing while she's checking.
Let me check right now.
But I just want to also say that, the Wheel of Life is also something that we integrate into our online course.
25 change.
25 change?
Yes.
Whoops, my bad. Okay,
25
so 25 change
in capitals.
Letters. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and that gets you a 25% discount. And so to the point I was just making was that we do use the Wheel of Life as well in our online Bold Career course, because, again, we never look at things as one-dimensional. So even though the course is primarily focused on your career, we do also utilize this tool in a slightly different way to make sure that if you're in transition or you're looking at recreating or shifting your career, then this is the best time to also think about, okay, how do you want your career to be part of your life? Yeah. If you don't want to be burnt out, if you don't want your career path to consume 90% of your life, then it's important to look at that full picture again. And so if you're thinking about joining our course, or it's something you're interested in, then completing this worksheet or getting the planner will actually put you in a really good place. When you start, you'll already be a sort of ahead, because you'll have already thought about these things. So more on our online course soon.
Yes.
Right?
We'll be sharing more on our social media around that. And, we do have a closed Facebook group as well for career shifters. So if you're interested, just ping us, drop us a DM, all those sort of things, whatever in the social media sphere. We have so many different things that can assist you in that career change. And obviously, for Sol and I, we are constantly looking at ways that we can add value to the different transition phases that you go through. So if you, as we're mapping out 2018 as well, if there's any topics or things that you're interested in, just let us know. Drop us a line at hello@thechangeschool.com.
Yes.
And we have some exciting things happening at the start of the year, but definitely, we are always up for more information or ideas for things that we can cover for Change School TV.
Especially this week, because we are hashing out some time to really map out our strategy. And so the more inputs we can get from you guys and ideas and suggestions, the better. before we sort of set it in stone. And while we're always flexible, it'd be great to hear from you guys now.
Yes. And so we've just shared the code. Thank you, 25 change. And if you guys just drop us a line. If you do buy one, just let us know. Please leave a review as well once you've used it and been able to sort of work through your own mind maps and looking at the change that you want to achieve. So other than that, we are going to probably sign off, and we'll see you back next Tuesday at 12:30 Singapore time, and we will see you online again soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.